Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Kaiserreich. Today we are going to be playing as the legislation cities over here in China. I was just curious about how they would actually play. This might end up being like a short, like 3-part series. It might end up being like a pretty interesting series. I really don't know. They've been updated with the China update, you know, like most of the Chinese states have. So we'll just kind of see what happens. I did see in one of the other playthroughs I did, I don't remember if it was the Germany, East Asia, or the Union of Britain, that the legislation cities did join the Entente. So, you know, maybe we'll actually be able to get involved in some sort of war in the future. But for now, we'll just kind of see how this starts. So we can go for the defensive commerce, land doctrine, and support artillery upgrades. The fortifications, volunteer forces. I'm really not too sure where we're exactly going to bring this. Growing British influence, budget convoys. 2 times 100% in research bonus industry is pretty good. Our currency reserves will fall. How much currency do we have? Influence on legislation cities. So right now the Americans are influencing us the most. Not a huge surprise. Above average. You know what? Above average, that means we're getting 2 times bonus to industry. Because I think that seems pretty good. We're going to be building some military factories right over here into Shanghai. Probably put our entire army into Shanghai as well. I mean, our country is essentially like 15 different cities along the coastline, so it's going to be hard to defend it. So let's go for a research bonus. Let's go for production efficiency cap and construction speed. You are surprisingly actually not that bad. We'll train up 2 of you, at least for right now. Unsurprisingly, we're going to need to import some stuff. We'll import some steel and some tungsten. Mostly just making artillery and support equipment, or infantry equipment I should say. Not a huge surprise. Let's go back up to speed 5. All of our resources have been met. Do we have any commanders? We do. And I guess you guys prepare to attack out towards the 8 provinces. I mean, everything is very susceptible to getting completely destroyed. Hong Kong, all of these cities. I think like every single one. You're 20 victory points. Okay. As long as we kind of keep everything localized to Shanghai, maybe we can survive this. So open for business. Formed under the shadow of a possible German and Japanese war by American mediation, the international mandate for the Chinese concessions, colloquially known as the legislation cities, is emblematic of both the failure of China to successfully resist foreign imperialism and the American push for the open door policy, under which all nations should have equal access to one of the world's largest markets. Shanghai's reach goes beyond her limits and beyond the 30-mile neutral zone that has become the haven for criminals all the way up the Yangtze, in a sprawling path of railroads, factories, and telegraph lines that form the beating heart of Chinese industry. Money comes and goes like water in the cities at all levels of society. To the north, Tianjin is the world's entrepot for Beijing and a thrusting hub of railway speculation for all of China. To the south is old Hong Kong, the last guttering ember of British glory kept alive by our foreign harbor and access to southern China, and at the beating heart of it all lay Shanghai, the diamond plucked from the hands of China and polished to a mere shine, the Paris of the East. In its heyday, the streets hum with electricity, the opium dens curl with mysterious smoke, and the Westerners spend money like it's going out of fashion and make it just as fast. All, of course, it is not as it appears. Under the golden surface of Shanghai lies a terrifying underbelly of murder, intrigue, and revolution. So what can we do? Restore voting rights to the Russian Republic. One of the following must be true. Transmir does not exist or is authoritarian democratic. What do they start off with? Paternal autocrat, I'm assuming? Yeah, so can't do anything with them quite yet. America does have the most influence, but, you know, I'm going to say in about a year's time, that influence might start dwindling a little bit. Currency reserves will rise, plus 25 political power. Purchase American arms. Can't do that until the American Civil War is actually over. We have a large current reserve. Seems pretty good. +2 max volunteer force division. So that means apparently we can actually volunteer a lot of people. Or more than you would expect. Is there anybody who starts off at war? No. So the world's at peace right now. I assume that means we can probably send 2 divisions. But we still need like the 20 base, right? Like that still seems like it's going to take a long time to actually get there. So nothing too crazy should be happening at the beginning of this campaign. You have 11% war support, only 100,000 manpower, but it is being modified a decent amount. We actually have 10 million people as our core population, so that's a decent amount. You can actually make something of that in due time. You guys will definitely deploy into Shanghai. It's legitimately the only place you're allowed to deploy in. So how long will it take for us to get all these rifles and stuff ready? About a year for you, and less than a year for you. So of course we're going to want to put, let's say, 3 into infantry equipment. And now that you guys are at war, oh, we are just allowed to immediately send troops over. We don't have a penalty. Fantastic. We're not going to send troops to Afghanistan because I think that's more or less just suicide. Black Monday has arrived. As a hub of global finance, Shanghai is can hardly avoid Black Monday, come as it does with the crash of the Berlin stock market in response to excessive issues with German government bonds. Investors hurriedly took a look at their portfolios and major industries suffer. The horror of the horror. Our currency reserves will fall. Construction speed is garbage. Factory output is pretty bad. Market liberal. What are we actually starting off with? Right now we are market liberal. I mean, we're still actually above average. That seems good. I mean, for now. Solarians have won the election in France. Buy out China, light and power. 2 times 100 bonus for you. Insider trading. Market liberal support. That's fine. Loan from the HSBC. Do we need a loan, though? Maybe one day we will. So what are you? You are some infrastructure. We need to do both of these first. A loan from Japan. So it seems like, okay, so National Populace is the Japanese faction. British is social conservative. The Americans, I'm assuming, are market liberal. Germany is paternal autocrat. Not too sure what you are. Do these always used to have little descriptions for what the political parties did? I don't ever see them in any other country, but maybe I'm just mistaken. How long do you take? You're 50 days. Question of Shanghai homogeny has shattered. That is okay. So what do we need for a new status quo? The current High Commissioner of the International Mandate for Chinese Concessions is here to stay. So I'm assuming at some point we'll get some event related to that. Currencies also will fall. You're for ships, you're for naval doctrine. Let's see if we can just do it like without taking out any loans. So let's go for defensive commerce. If we just had Black Monday, I think that makes sense. Actually, what removes Black Monday in here? Oh, so you're gonna modify Black Monday to the east. So it's probably somewhere down here. Research slot. Currency reserves will rise. Okay. I do see there's something over here. The Legislative Council. Start a motion to bail out the DAB. Sure. Bail out the DAB. So you got a 50-50 chance that it collapses or stabilizes, or we put it to a vote. Somebody's immediately said no. And then Nanjing clique is immediately starting to fall apart. Could we, like, theoretically declare war on them? No, because we need 75% world tension, which is a lot more than I'm able to do at the moment. So 2 people said yes, 1 people has abstained. So I mean, this is a bank bailout. I'm assuming maybe Japan said no. But I'm not too sure there's a way to actually see. Yeah, so you are... I mean, support utility land option is pretty good. The League of the 8 Provinces has collapsed. Probably not good for the old stability. So let's see. Do we want to establish Chinese divisions, which is more recruitable population, or better entrenchment, but for less infantry weapons, aircraft? 2 times specialized land doctrine, asymmetrical warfare training. I don't know what that means. So I'm immediately interested in that. Maybe we'll see what that actually does. You might go for it down the Chinese division because I'm curious about, because that's the technology. Stability is good for business. Is it in here somewhere? Like, I don't remember ever seeing it. Special forces. No, Max, I have no idea. Currency results will fall. The vote has passed. How much money do I have right now, then? Below average. That's probably not great. American influence is growing. Not a huge surprise. But, you know, we still got a few more years. Or not a few more years. A few more, months. Okay, so this has stabilized. We are, I think we're still poor. Below average. Construction speed even lower than normal. KMT and the Indian Socialists overthrow Tibet. Probably not good for business, if I had to say. So Tibet has gone social democratic. And Nanjing Clique is not looking to be in a very stable position at the moment. German anger. The Germans, despite being pleased with our rallying of the DAB after Black Monday, are applying considerable pressure for there to be investigation onto what exactly went on in regard to the allegations of insider trading. The serious accusation. So who do you actually... I guess it's maybe who we want to support. Chinese influence. So social liberal are the Chinese. Trust the Japanese, the British, or the Chinese to do the investigation. Well... let's entrust the Japanese. I mean, I guess, who do I want to support the most? And I don't think I've ever sided with Japan once in any series in Kaiserreich, so, you know, let's entrust the Japanese with an investigation. I mean, they're right there. How could you say no to good old Hirohito? I'm sure he will be a big fan of us. Looks like the left KMT is probably going to fall apart, but I think these 2 guys in the north will defeat the Nanjing Clique. Yes, we got some Japanese support is growing as well. I don't think the Syndicalists or any of the Socialists will get any support in the legislation cities. I'd be surprised if they did. We got 12 days here. Guess we're no longer getting any more American influence. So you probably want to go for the loan from the Yokohama Bank. Well, let's see. Actually, who is... the Hong Kong club is probably, like, the least. So if you gotta, like, take a loan out of... I want to buy out China Power and Light, too. So we can get the loan from the Japanese. Okay, the Green Gangs clash. Shanghai's criminal underworld has long been under the control of 3 mysterious figures who led a collective known as the Green Gang. At the head of the alliance is crime lord Du Yusheng, better known as the Big Ears Du. Yu Shang's iron grip on the opium trade out of Shanghai is long established, and with the establishment of the legislation cities, the route has been opened for him and the Green Gang to muscle in on Hong Kong. The Triad gangsters who thrive in the Chinese districts of Hong Kong have pushed back strongly against the attempt, culminating in a clash today between them and the Green Gang men at a pleasure house in Hong Kong. Reportedly, at least 50 people were involved in the armed clash with machetes, knives, and pistols before the police were able to break it up. This has only served to highlight the ongoing problem of criminality in the cities and the potential destabilizing effect. I mean, our stability is already pretty bad, so I mean, what else can you possibly do? Fleeing the chaos and following the collapse of Sun Changfang's League, 1,000 refugees are poured into the neutral zone. So even more stability goes down, but we did get 6,000 manpower, which I think is pretty okay. I'm going to get a loan from the Brits, and then we're going to go down get a loan from the Japanese. Okay, so we're no longer getting Japanese support at the moment. Is there anything else we can do in here? Okay, Anjing Kli has been annexed. Oh, I thought they were winning, but apparently not. Failed coup in Beijing! Oh, the Zili clique's now just in charge. I mean, it seems like a pretty successful coup, if you ask me, because the Qing are just no longer there. Okay, anyway. An exiled general from Qing arrives. Could be a liability. While military does not reach the standards of loyalty seen in Western powers, we pride ourselves on meritocracy, and commanders and field marshals in the battlefield have proven their loyalty to the leader and the people. Sure, you know, let's invite him in. Famine has broken out in Sichuan. That's not our problem. We have to only deal with our... Okay, Japanese investigate some more, getting a little bit more influence from the Japanese. Annie Kenny's cleared to become chairman. That is fine. What are we going to research now? We got all of our bonuses here for our industry. So let's go for... 78 days is pretty fast. And I don't think we really want anything else right now. So 78 days seems good. I don't think we need to do anything too crazy. How many men do you have? 17 out of 35 divisions. R3 probably cannot win that fight, unsurprisingly. So as long as everybody here just kind of stays out of my business. The left camp T leader, Anjun leader, Federalist leader, Zili leader. So apparently there is like 4 different cliques at the moment. 1, 2, 3. I think you said you're the Republican leader. So a murder in broad daylight. The grisly events took place in Shanghai today as a member of one of the last rival gangs finally fell foul of the Green Gang. He's apparently been leaving the police station in the German, formerly French, concessions. After a heated conversation, when a large group of men in Western suits and hats ambushed him after his bodyguards and companion were shot, he was he was torn apart with axes in an act of mob violence. Despite the extremely accurate accounts circulating about the incident, it seems that there's absolutely no witnesses. The police at the time are being extremely busy. The building's gone down a little bit more. So things right now probably aren't great. Evidence against Lothar Estranger. German influence must be too high. We don't have any... we got this whole criminal underworld going on. But no evidence has arisen as to who could be behind all of these things. Got a budget for next year is going to be coming up. The United States sends troops to Shanghai, citing security concerns following the collapse of the League of Eight Provinces. The Americans have sent more troops to the volunteer force in Shanghai. I mean, that's nice of them. Apparently, also have like an air force of 50 planes. As well as no boats. I have not a single boat to my name, and I'm not actually able to build boats right now. So it probably would make sense to at least build like a single port somewhere. Investigating the Green Gang. Probably want to keep going for the Japanese if I can. Apparently I'm not allowed to. As the open clash between the Green Gang and Hong Kong tries to become more and more brazen, the situation can no longer be ignored. A committee of inquiry has been called to investigate the appointment of a chief investigator into the criminals, who can centralize the information about them and hopefully root them out. Let's... I mean, again, who is doing the worst? The social liberals by far. So let's ask the Shanghai Chief of Police to investigate. So we almost got our loan here. Probably going to put us back up to average. And after that, we are going to do the electrical research. Don't want to do construction too quite yet. Go for some infantry equipment. So the loan has been filled out. Let's buy out China Light and Power. So we get about an average amount of currency. Chief of Staff, Chief of Army. I think it's an industrial company first. We want that construction speed up as much as humanly possible. So if we're getting like so much influence by so many people, daily change to -0.03. The investigation collapse. It was seen that after a month of investigation, respected by Chief of Police, unable to uncover sufficient evidence to build a case against anybody. The Japanese might know something if they can be bribed. Again, I want the Japanese involved as much as possible, so you know what? Send them some money. It means I am below average, and as soon as I buy out China Power and Light, I'm going to be pretty broke. Anti-concessionists attack inland concessions. During the fallout of the League War, several... Just... Stop making things bad. I just want a bunch of legislation cities, and I just want them to be good. That's all there is to it. But I do think this is going to be a good time to end this episode. So thanks everybody for watching my Anthem. If you enjoyed, my thumbs up. Not enjoyed, click thumb down. Want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.